Hello, everybody, and welcome to Candid Conversations. I am your host, Kyra. How are y'all doing tonight? This is going to be excuse our tardiness as well. My apologies. Y'all already know what it is. But we're gonna get this party started very fast. Let's bring out Mr. Roshawn Davis, the superstar. Roshawn Davis.
Superstar,
He's
Billboard,
a superstar.
all over the place.
He is on the billboard, y'all.
Billboard fresh, straight from the Jimmy Fallon show. You see that? Straight from the Jimmy Fallon show. Still got my still got my band on.
Because he is a
Happy.
superstar.
I want to say Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans who sacrificed their time, their lives, their families, everything for the American people and the people beyond. Much respect. Uh, Happy Veterans Day.
All right, happy Veterans Day, Mr. Sean Davis. Because Sean is a veteran too. All right, people. Y'all know we don't do this without the one and only, newly married, Mr. Derek the Deacon Watson.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Happy Veterans Day to me as well. Um, now don't look at me like that, Roshawn. Just because I ain't on the billboard don't mean because I've been a soldier in the army of the Lord for years.
You got your own day, B. You got your own day every Sunday.
I've been a soldier and fighting on the battlefield for my Lord. Come on, somebody.
You get every Sunday. We get one day.
Touch your neighbor. Touch your neighbor. So I believe I'm just gonna run on and see what the end's gonna be. Yes, sir.
Lord have mercy.
Mess.
He is a hot mess. All right, everybody. So we are going to get this party started as we all, I don't know if y'all can see it or not, because I probably didn't put it up there. Um, there we go. The conversation tonight, we are talking about dating outside of your race.
Uh-oh.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just
No,
real.
no.
Yeah.
So that's a topic. I don't have nothing to say on it. No, I don't care if people date outside their race. I mean, you love who you love. You want to be with who you want to be with. That's your business. I've dated outside my race, so I can't be judging nobody. It is what it is.
You did?
But
I couldn't
yes,
see that.
yes, I have.
Not Shaka Khan, not Sister Soldier dating outside her
Oh,
race.
you trying to be funny? You trying to be funny?
I'll be honest.
I have. I've dated two men outside of my race.
Like how
One was
far
Arabic. One was Arabic, and one was Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican don't really count. So they black adjacent. But
We
They
all
ain't as
black.
black as look. They ain't as black as you think.
they black adjacent. But that Arabic, that caught me completely off guard. I could not see Kyra dating no Arabic person. Eating naan.
Why?
You was out there eating that naan bread.
You know what, Terry? I am not. I'm not doing this with you today. But yes, I did. I did date an Arabic. It was a cool Arabic though. So as you can see, it didn't work out. I did. I married black. So
It didn't work out.
I married black.
Yeah.
I marry black.
I
So
settle. I settle.
I didn't say that. All I said was I marry black. That's
I
all
heard
that
you.
matters.
I heard you. You
You
marry
know,
well. You marry good.
you tiptoe into different waters, and then you get home. You swim back home.
You marry good.
Now you swim back home.
You swim-
God.
that's all. You swim back home, and ever since that's all I do. I date black, but I'm not gonna say that I've never dated outside my race. It was a experience, and
With that fresh naan bread, that was the experience. That's when
it was different.
that's when you throw it against his head like this, and then throw it against in the clay pot on you. He was like, "Yeah, girl,
Yo, I can't
yeah,
with
girl."
you. I'm not messing with you today, Derek. We is
You
not.
trying
This
to
is
say
not about me.
he was throwing cat
Okay,
around in the pot?
so y'all two gonna act like y'all never dated outside y'all race?
Ooh,
What?
Ooh, have y'all dated outside y'all race?
I'm an equal opportunity lover. I don't know what you're talking about.
Sean, have you dated outside your race?
My Wi-Fi messing up. What you say? I can't hear you.
Oh, okay.
You say? No,
Have you dated?
I dated outside my race before. I ain't gonna get into all the particulars, but I have.
So see, there's nothing wrong with. I don't see anything wrong with dating outside of your race. Um, but
The
I
human
know a
race.
lot of. But I can't say this that there are a lot of people who really don't need that don't belong in your relationship of who you're dating, put themselves into your relationship and have plenty to say. But
Yeah,
okay.
but
So Derek,
everybody has
huh?
plenty to say. I said
Yeah, they do,
everybody has plenty to say. That's the
but
problem.
it's none of their damn business. They just
Mhm.
they just make they just make things harder for you in your relationship because they got something to say. They don't like something. Like, but you're not in it, so it's like none of your business. Like mind your business.
I don't know where y'all going. I'm
Why?
gonna leave it alone.
Like why are you so concerned about what somebody or who somebody else is dating? It's
Right.
I'm not a big fan of biases, and when I don't want to hear what you got to say, because when you're telling me I'm awesome, I want to hear it all day, right? But when you're telling me that I ain't doing the right thing, or maybe I'm not, handling things the right way, then I don't want to hear it. So, and when people say that, oh, people can mind their business, but if they telling you like, yo, you are amazing, you are the most beautiful person in the world, you go on, keep talking, girl. Keep talking. That's right. And but soon as they say, I don't really like that what you did. I don't really like who you with, or I don't like this, or we don't want to hear it. I mean, we can hear it.
yeah,
We ain't got to take heed to it. We ain't got to, attach it to our
but you
lives.
but you have to
But
come better with more than just the color of somebody's skin or something to that nature. You just
oh no,
don't like
I
me
agree
because
with
you just
that.
don't like this person because they're not black
The work,
or
one
whatever.
of the
Like
worst things, like I
it's
can't
weird.
stand to hear. I can't stand to hear from people is something I don't like about him. It's something I don't like about her. I mean, it's not. I didn't
Mm.
do anything to you. I ain't do nothing to you. Ain't
Hmm.
nothing happened, but it's something that you don't like. So people, we just have to have good people around us that can give us good conversation and that can give us good advice and a good opinion. No matter if it's about race, if it's about gender, if it's about religion, if it's about our job, if it's about whatever. I mean, when you're in good company that can give you good advice, it does you well. When you're around
Absolutely.
all of that other stuff, that's when all of that terrible advice and terrible opinions come in, and you get what you get.
Absolutely.
Sometimes your friends is your friends, and
But
maybe
they not your friends.
what I tell my when I mentor, what I tell my kids all the time is you change your mentality, you change your environment, you change your life. So if you stay around these people that keep giving you terrible advice, that's doing terrible themselves, that's in terrible environments and just terrible and terrible and terrible, and you continue to stay in those spaces, that's just your fault.
That is true.
All of it.
That is
So
very much so true.
I agree with
we
that.
got some videos, right?
Yeah, Derek, drop a video.
So we can get into this thing.
Beep, 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 beep.
Get mad at me for dating outside my race. But I was dating outside of my race because they was doing things better than my race. I'm gonna
Like,
keep
what
it
do you
100.
mean? Define better. Define better.
Well, not better because I know where she getting ready to go. Not better.
I know you said they were doing things
not
better. I want to know what better meant.
Not better. I'm gonna change that.
I'm trying to save you for the
I know you
people,
is.
for
That's
the
what I'm
culture.
saying. Not better for the culture.
There we go.
Right. Not better. I was dating Puerto Rican, I was dating Dominican, I was dating African, I was dating all type of other really size American black, right? They were doing way more of what we expect we want our woman to do more than our American. Our American got real comfortable
Give
with.
me some examples.
Oh man, I mean, their mannerisms are different. Like even my Indian one was from Syria, one of them countries over there, right? I didn't have to really say much to do and be treated like a king. You see what I'm saying? A lot of times with our own American black, they expect so much of us and what we're supposed to do. Like things like, if we go out and eat and we just have a nice dinner, we can go anywhere and eat and get a nice dinner. It had to be Ruth Chris, or it had to be this, that, or it had to be this, that. Then I get somebody that's just as fine, a Cuban or a Colombian. They don't care about nothing. They care about you and your household. Even though they still care about the money, but it's not about the money. You understand what I'm trying to say? It's a difference. Not better, but sometimes we get tired of hearing, Birkin bags, sushi.
Do you think that's fair? Because I feel like there's a certain type of woman
Right.
that does demand that. And
Right.
to me, I think it depends on the bait you're using and where you're looking. If you're going to go get a model from Instagram that got the BBL, the snatched in stomach, and has all the things that check off money hungry and surface, you're going to get that. If you're going to meet a girl and through different ways and ask different questions, you're going to find that out a lot earlier on that what's important to her.
I'm not doubting that, but I'm just talking about even if you look on just a regular dating app and just look at what a woman may state that she requires, you know, and I'm saying these things because it feels as if social media again is the barometer. Okay, and it's the comparison, and when you're comparing yourself to all these other women, and of course, even with the BBLs, because I'm like, that's fine, but I mean,
What's BBL? I'm sorry.
Brazilian butt lift.
Oh, okay.
And there's no shade to women that have
No.
them. I'm just
I was
saying.
wondering, I was waiting for it too. I'm like,
It's no
excuse me?
And there's no shade to everyone that has them. I'm just saying, if you're going by just surface things and that's who you're going afterwards, then guess what? She gonna run them pockets.
I picked the hottest one because this is so that it's so accurate to a certain extent. Firstly, wait, let me check, make sure. I just want to make sure that my information is in public so that I don't tear my lawn up. But it's so accurate, right? To to the reality of what is going on out in the dating world. Um, I before me and Shaniqua tied the knot before we was like, bet this is what we want to do. I was dating and if I briefly hopped on one of the dating sites. Two things I realized in the dating site. Number one, everybody who's in the dating site, a majority of the females, I would say 89% of the females on the dating site already got attitudes. Like their profile got attitudes. First of all, let me just tell you right now, I ain't with this. Anything you want to know, just ask me. If not, miss me with all the other nonsense. It was just crazy. It was like, why y'all angry already? I haven't even walked in to say hey yet, and you already give me attitude. Second thing is that they have very high expectations. When they it's things that they expect, it's things that they want. They want Roof Chris. Roof Chris is no longer a destination for anniversaries and birthdays. That's what we eating on Tuesday because we have because the bar has been raised to a certain extent from social media. Social media has given people this idea of um I'm entitled this idea entitlement ideal of I'm entitled to this because of how I look. Because I look a certain way, because I carry a certain way, because I weigh a certain weight, this is what I'm entitled to. So you do find it not only to be, our Americanized black women, but any culture that's been Americanized kind of takes on that mindset. It's like that American mindset. It's like if you meet a Spanish or a Spanish young lady, you meet a Hindu young lady, you meet anybody who's been Americanized in thinking, their mindset is along that same line of entitlement.
Okay. Why it got so quiet?
I didn't know if Derek was finished.
Are you finished, Derek?
Yeah, that was all I get.
Oh, because I was short for opening. I was looking for,
All
what
my
you got, Cat?
So so this is a question I want to ask. Do you feel as though the standards that a black woman expects from a man, they don't expect the same thing from other men out that's not black? Do their standards all of a sudden change because you're black? Or do they expect the same standards they asking you for from any man that they date?
right, they're across the board. The standards don't change. It's not these standards because I'm black. It's these standards. It's just the
Standards,
entitlement.
period.
The entitlement piece is across the board. Like I'm entitled to this because I look this way, or I smell good, or I got whatever. It's just like I'm entitled to this, and I'm like, you're not entitled to anything. Like
No, you're not.
but
Hi, Kamisha.
that's the American way. The American way now, the Americanized woman, um, unless you go get you unless you go meet you a more seasoned woman who has been through some things, who have dealt with some things, and even them, they're kind of scarce now. But if their mindset has been, it's past that I can do bad all by myself, and now it's like, no, show me, show me my worth, give me my worth. I know my worth, give it to me. And I'm like, and like I said before, um, when we talked about body counts, right? I know my worth. Like, okay, so you get to reevaluate yourself after the whole neighborhood know you. Now you get to reevaluate yourself and now put yourself on the top shelf as a Bentley. And now you want me to come up to that level and treat you as such. It's just kind of crazy. So you do find yourself. So you do find yourself um, when you go into other cultures that mindset is not there. So I don't have to treat. I don't have to I don't have to come to you with my bank account to treat. I don't have to come with you. I don't have to come to you with my with Ruth Chris and all these other things because they haven't been raised that way. I think the Americanized woman has been, because I'm not even going to say black, I'm just talking period. The Americanized woman has dealt with a piece of struggle, a period of struggle. So because they have dealt with a period of struggle, they have no means to return there. So then they come with these high standards of I want a man who's going to do this, 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 and this, so I don't have to struggle anymore.
Okay, well that makes sense.
But does it make sense? Or how does it make sense on a man's back? I don't want to have to struggle no more, so I'm gonna make him struggle to provide
Well,
me.
I kind of think that also depends on what type of person you're dating, because everybody can't have that type of lifestyle because you can't afford that type of lifestyle.
Okay. I mean, can I jump in now?
Yes, sir.
All right. I think one thing Derek said is interesting is the standards. Certain standards have been raised, right? Of what I expect or even what I'm entitled to. But the one thing that we have to understand, there's only certain type of men that you expect this from, because the average man can't afford all of those things all the time, right? That's just common sense. The average man that makes $45,000 a year can't afford Ruth Chris, Tuesday,
Exactly.
Thursday. I'm sorry?
I said exactly.
Okay, so the same way that your standard was raised for what you want from, these men, are your standards raised of what you're offering?
It should be.
Because what you have to understand, which I've seen, in different areas of life, right? Me growing and me being in different rooms and me seeing different things. The higher you go, the more broad you go, the more everything that you grow, the more access you have to the world, and the world have access to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which means more women have access to you. The more money you got, the more money that you show, the more people get attracted. I grew up in the projects. I grew up in the towers, as we know. I mean, now my career took me outside of that, which I was introduced to and, met different people, which other people had access to me, which now it's people that I've met that I probably would have never met if I was just in my box. Now that you're getting men, black men especially, that's getting outside of these boxes, they're being seen in there's more interest that's being showed from other places. And maybe those other places, and the reason why I asked, does your standard change? If those other people or other races or other whoever it is, I don't know. I can't answer for them. But my question is, if they look to be competitive, if they look to even give some type of courtship to you as a man, to want to fight for you or cater to you, because I even saw at one time, Derek, I even saw that the song "Cater to You" by Destiny's Child,
Mm-hmm.
they wanted to cancel that. They wanted it canceled. So anything that catered to men, there's a certain environment or a certain group or certain type of people that they really don't care for it. They just want to be catered to. But then you got these other people, you know, whether it's black, white, Hispanic, you know, whoever, that's willing to, you know, buy you a drink, you know, buy you a gift,
Right.
pay for your date, you know, do those things. Now, does our culture, does the standard of our culture say, you know what, these men that's on this certain level that we want, do we fight harder for them? Or do we let another race or another woman take him? Like, how does that work? Because not every man that's on a certain level is going to adhere to that nonsense. Like, it got to a point to where it's like you couldn't even go to Cheesecake Factory. Like, I can't take you to the Cheesecake Factory, but you want me to give you the world. Sometimes I just want to go get something to eat. I don't need Ruth Chris all the time. I don't need, you know, 5-star all the time. I like TGI Fridays. I like the little 2 for $20. Like, I ain't care about all of that. But because I like that, you're gonna shoot me down and I'm a brokey because I just wanted to get some wings. Sometimes we make it about more than what it actually is, and it's unnecessary. When you have some others that may look at it to where it's like, you know what, if this is where he want to go, then let's go do that.
Okay, so, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with you catering to your man. There's nothing wrong with it. For some it may be, for some it may not. But that's all on who you choose to be with. Everything to me is just a choice. Whether they black, white, whatever. It's just a choice. You choose who you want to be with. That's your preference. So if you want to sit there and you want to spoil this person and she doesn't bring much to the table, or she's not even trying to grow to be something more better, and you just like, well, I just want you for whatever, and I'm gonna give you this, and this, then do you think?
I agree. I agree, but I think the problem is when those voices yell the loudest, sometimes they tend to be the only ones that's heard. Yes, there's a lot of beautiful women throughout our culture that wouldn't mind doing all of those different things. But when those voices are so loud and pushed to the forefront, and that's what a lot of people see, it's a turnoff.
But we also see a lot of women, a lot of women, period, also speak the opposite. So it's all on what do you choose to listen to.
What do you mean?
About catering to your man, about taking, being more submissive to your man. And we hear a lot of that too.
I'll be honest with you. I see more of the other. Now let me ask you, as a man, Derek, I may be wrong, but I like, even with the like social media, with the bait cars, where they get in the cars and it's all about what they want, and the love and hip hops and all of these different things. I'll never say that all women are that way, especially all one type of women or all one race of women. But if we're gonna balance it, I see more of those high expectations and entitlement more than I see submission. You can't even say submission in some places. Like, I don't even know why we even talking about this. Like, you can't even say submission in some places without having some type of rah, 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 rah. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. Of course, I love April Mason. I love, a lot of those women that speak power to women. I love that. Like, you got to remember, I'm the one that created the Women's March in Patterson. I mean, so I love empowering women, but that still can't speak to the fact that I don't hear and see those other things. I still see it and hear it, and it's very loud and it's in your face. You have right now, you have more like those obnoxious shows, because I was against it for a long time. I watched it in the beginning because I thought it was about hip hop, but I stopped watching it because I felt it degraded our community, our women. But it seemed like the women is the one that started watching it, faithfully. I stopped watching it because I felt that it degraded our women. Right. But when it's so loud and in your face, and you won't, like I said, access is huge. When we don't see a lot of those other, races or, women, as loud and as in your face and as accessible, some people can draw off the wrong conclusion. I'm not saying that it's not ratchets in every race or it's not gold diggers in every race. No, I would never say that. But it seemed like they turn ours up a little louder than anybody else's.
Facts.
You know what I mean? It just seems like it. But at the same time,
like it's a fact. It's factual. Yeah. That's the whole idea, because we're the top consumer of it. Yes. So when I'm gonna feed what drives me. So if my top consumer is, let's say, my top consumer is a Black woman, I'm gonna feed that Black woman the things that she likes. I'm gonna feed.
Well, let me ask you this, Derek, because there was a show a while ago. Not gonna say a long time ago, a while ago, and it was about sororities.
Right.
Same avenue as Love and Hip Hop, as Basketball Wives. It was about sororities. And you had certain sororities that was on, it was probably the same show, same channels. And it was the women of the sororities that was acting out. They boycotted that show and got it took off air.
Right.
Why it couldn't be for Black women, period? Why just sororities?
Because the sororities the one that boycotted it and got it taken off, because they weren't going to be looked at crazy. I
get it. I'm just speaking on why isn't it for Black women?
Because Black women don't feel it, because they don't feel like it's crazy. They don't have a problem with it. They are okay with the craziness. And when you got a room full, if you got a room full of people, 10,000 viewers, and 9,758 of them don't see anything wrong with what's going on television, then nothing's wrong on television. It's about the majority. So no matter how many of the minority might say this is despicable, we don't like this, this needs to be changed, if the majority likes it, then the majority wins. It's okay.
But to bring it full circle, because this is about interracial dating. Right. The whole thought process was a lot of Black men, that I speak to, they go away from, a lot of that type of behaviors because they feel it's unattractive.
Right.
It's not something that they look to. So when you're promoting other races in a different type of way, and let's say that's how they choose to see it, now the access that's given, it gives availability, right? It gives availability. Like me being in my space, as a career firefighter, and EMT and this and that, military and all of those different things. If I stayed in the hood, if I stayed where I lived, if I stayed, in my apartment, I would have never been in those spaces to meet different people, to see different people, to encounter a different type of relationship or a different type of dialogue, or a different type of experience. When I'm in California, it's different. When I'm in New Orleans, it's different. When I was in Chicago, it's different. We can identify with each other, but there's a thing called that Southern, what you call it? With the what you call the word when you're in the South?
Southern hospitality?
Southern hospitality. Thank you. There's nothing called Northern hospitality. It's for a reason. Up north is more hustle and bustle. I was in New York today. I was at the show. And you can ask my cousin Willie, I almost had anxiety. I was sitting there like, this cab almost hit my truck, because everything is so cluttered. Everything is so hustle bustle. Everything is so fast. And I was about to jump out the car and tell this cab driver, whoop, yo, if you touch my truck. Because everything is so fast. Everybody's, trying to get into one space and, everybody's hustling and, so it translate over, to whereas like, you could take a woman that speak that you have a conversation with, that's from Georgia or whatever. And, you get in that Southern peach conversation versus a woman from, Brooklyn. It's a different conversation.
Right.
Different type of dialogue. Just the same as a woman that's from Patterson and then maybe as a woman from Oakland. You're from different environments. But I understood it when I started to go into different spaces. To whereas like now, even to the point, you got something called the passport bros. Right? You got something called the passport bros. So whereas they say that they're tired of Americanized women and they rather date abroad. And I'm like, I went overseas. Some of it may be hustle because our finances is their hustle. When we go to DR, when we go to, all of these different places, our currency is their hustle. It's how they make a living. So they may just be more nice to us to make more money. Who knows? Or they may be attracted to us. I know. And if you look in the inbox, Kyra, you can see a video that I sent you. There was a college professor that started a class on Black masculinity. And he said that he did that so our culture can learn more about, the African-American experience and Black men's masculinity. But he said the one thing that he started to see is other cultures started to join in the class. And I said this on the show before. He said that, and he asked those women, why are you guys joining this class? And they said that we are attracted to Black men. Black men are climbing the ladders of success. They're educated. And this is what they said, not me. They said that they're probably the men that pay attention to and cater to their women the most. They said, because if you look at other cultures, the men of other cultures don't respect their women as much as the Black man. He said, if you look at the Asian culture, they don't, some of them can't even speak, I guess. If you look at the Middle Eastern culture, you already know how that is. You look at the Caucasian culture. They said that the only culture that you see, like even a woman going back and forth with the man, besides the Hispanic culture, is the Black culture. You don't see that in other cultures. I remember being in Dubai years ago, the women couldn't even walk with the men. They had to walk behind them. I mean, so when they started looking at black men climbing the ladders of success, and even it becoming more acceptable to date black men, they saw it to be more attractive because they can actually converse with their man. They can actually have an experience with their man instead of being looked at as property. And they said a lot of those women that joined those classes wanted to join the classes to get to know how to cater to and, you know, be able to experience black masculinity. And that's a study. You can look that up.
What's up, Justin?
You said you asked the question?
No, I was saying hello to Justin.
Oh. Now, can I push back with a thought here, though? A lot of other cultures tend to push towards the black man, not because of how the black man respects women, but how the black man is easily to give to a woman.
Same thing.
But can we say a part of that? Some of that is just based off of based off of societal norms of what black men do, because black men, we don't. I don't want to say.
Okay.
We don't value money. Some black men, especially in today's social media saga, that social media era, they don't value money with the same intent. So I can give you money, and I can give you money because money comes easy to me. That's their mindset. Where you find other men who may have to work hard for their money, or men of a certain stature, who they value their money more.
I don't think that's what they were talking about.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Can we? Sometimes we look at the A part, but we don't touch that B part of the value, the misvalue of money that the black culture sees, because we run behind rappers, and we run behind folk who's on social media with the big chains and stuff, and don't mind going out and dropping a couple of K's on a female just because they feel that.
I can understand that, but I don't want to confuse the two.
Okay.
What the study was about. The study was about how the other cultures was looking to the African American man because of how they treated the women, not from a financial aspect, but from from communication, from just treating them not like property.
Right.
That's what it was about. Now we want to have that other conversation. We can have that, but the study, that was what the study was about. Because I'm sorry.
So even with that being said, when it comes to black women, you don't feel as though black women date outside of their race because of the same thing, because they're treated better, they're spoken to better.
I don't know. That's something
they're not being talked down to, or about, like, oh, you're so aggressive, you're this, you're that. Which is a reason why some black women do date outside of their race, because you do hear a lot of black men dogging women, saying what we do, what we don't do, we aggressive, we this, we that. Exactly, you do. You hear both.
You hear both.
But you hear what more? What do you hear more of?
I hear the women dogging the men more.
I hear men dogging women more. We both hearing two different things here, but it could both mean the same thing.
I don't want to poll it. I don't even want to go about it that way. But
Because
And
that's just like you
I don't even
saying
care
that you hear women talk down about men all the time, but I don't
because
hear.
the
I mean,
reason why
I
I say
hear it.
that.
I absolutely do. But wait a minute, I do hear it. But I also hear how black women on all different type of platforms talk about uplifting the black man and being submissive and how to be submissive to a black man. So you're
You
gonna
just
get
heard it.
both
You just
sides
heard
of
it
the
on.
coin. You're gonna
You
get
just
both
heard it.
sides of the coin, and either way,
Yes, you just heard it on this
it's always
platform.
the same.
Okay, you just heard it on this
No,
platform.
I didn't.
I'm sorry.
No,
Go
I
ahead.
haven't just heard it on this platform.
No. I was
I
trying to
haven't
say
just heard it
something.
on.
I was trying to say something, but my apologies. Loud black woman.
I swear, y'all been talking more than I have. I just slightly interjected into the conversation.
This
But
is what I know. This is what I know. What I was saying was, even on this platform, I've spoken on that. I created the Black Women's March to
you did.
empower women. Let me go to empower. Now, I've been in a space with Derek on this platform to whereas there was a conversation that may come up speaking on the attitude of a black woman, and me and Derek are paused like we don't even want to say nothing because we know what comes along with it. We know what comes along with it. I done got my grass tore up. What are
It
you
wasn't
talking
because of
about?
nothing that you had to say. It wasn't about nothing you had to say. So we ain't even doing that.
Like
we ain't even doing that.
we know, cousin, we know, and we speak on it all the time. That the sisterhood is
Yes,
very,
but
very.
that doesn't.
Let me
But that's
say it. We speak about it all the time. That the sisterhood is very strong. The sisterhood is
absolutely.
the sisterhood is very strong. The brotherhood is not as strong as the sisterhood, and the reason why in culture, the reason why in retail, the reason why in society the sisterhood is more stronger is because there's more consequences and repercussions if you go against the sisterhood. We know that. They can talk bad about brothers and they'll be like, man, screw him. You talk bad about sisters, man, it's gonna be hell and consequences. It's gonna be hell and hot water.
No,
When you
I
talk
don't.
about the sister.
I feel like the sister. I feel like the sisterhood, as you say, is so strong, and we stay together, is because we get tired of hearing men just keep bashing us all the time. So yes, we stand behind each other and we have each other's back, and there's nothing wrong with that. Because
No,
everything
it's
that a
nothing
man,
wrong.
because you can't. It's like men love to generalize what women are like and what
I
we
don't
do. Oh,
believe that.
we're
I believe you
aggressive.
hear what you want to hear.
We're mad black women and da 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 da.
I don't agree with that.
We hear
I
that.
believe
Okay, you don't have to agree with it, but I do. And
no,
at the
what
end
I'm
of the
saying is
day, but
is
what I'm saying is, wait a minute. And what I'm saying is, when we're tired of hearing it, and that's all we really hear on these platforms. Yes, we're gonna have each other's back because we're protecting each other.
but that's cousin, that's not what we're talking about here. We can't say nothing. We can't say
You can
anything.
say whatever you want to say.
No, what I'm saying is we can sit here and have a conversation about men all day long. But as soon as we have a conversation about women, it's called bashing when it's not. And I don't
Sometimes it is.
see, of course, sometimes it is. Like, we can't keep doing that. Of course, sometimes it is, but we can't even get through a 5-minute dialogue about some things that the black men don't really care for, because as soon as we start talking about something that we don't care for, it's looked at as bashing, it's flipped on us, and it's turned against us. Now, I know I've done, like I said, been on plenty posts. You know, I got thousands of followers. I ain't even got to get into all of that. But I've been in many situations to whereas we can't have the conversation. We can't. As soon as the conversation starts, we can't have the conversation. Sometimes I'll do like a social media experiment where I'll say, you know, something about the female side, and I'll say something about the male side. And it's a totally lopsided conversation. I remember Nadine said the same thing, that she's seen that I did that before. But I don't want to get into the push and the pull of that type of situation, because I can't disprove your opinion. Your opinion is your opinion. If you feel like more black men say stuff about black women than black women say about black men, and you say that that's the case, which you say that all the time, well, you know you be lying, then that's just the case. I can't disprove that. That's your opinion. But we all know in social media that if there's a conversation speaking on black women, there's more pushback than there is when there's a conversation about black men. Like, we've seen that plenty of times. Now, I was going to speak on something else, but you done totally got me away from what I was going to comment on.
Derek, run the next clip.
And I know you didn't mean it when you were saying other races are better, right? But we hear that so much, like, oh, I like dating a Hispanic girl. You only dated 1 or 2 Hispanic girls. Like, why is it a full race? Like, you may have like a girl in high school that was black that broke your heart, but now all black women are trash. And it's not true. Like, it's so many black women, especially my friends that I know, they're so nurturing and loving and caring. And there are all those things that you said that was better in another race. But the only difference is that they're black. You know, like, so I don't get when people say that.
And I understand where you're coming from. I think that a lot of times we're the only community as well where, you know, you might hear, you know, I don't need a man. And you have a lot of single black women. And I don't think that's, you know, we speak a lot of things that we may not necessarily intend to come across that way. But again, it goes back to our history.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. I would say we do intend it, though. We intend it because that's what we're taught. But again, because we don't know the history, we don't know why that comes out of survival. So I will have clients all the time who will say, oh, I don't want a black woman, Spirit, because y'all are too hard, y'all are too mouthy, y'all are too this, too. And I always say, well, what you're saying is that she's too much for you. You're not saying, because you can't define what is too anything for somebody else. But also, if you don't understand the history, Black women have had to learn how to survive because they had to be taught the possibility that your husband or your father or your brother or your child can be taken from you at any moment, murdered, killed, sold, you name it. And so you cannot count on him always being there. And you have to be strong enough to keep going. You have to be motivated enough. You have to save your life and everybody else's life around you. So that was a survival technique. Black people, African American people are still in survival right now.
All right, so that was beautiful.
You crying?
That was a tearjerker. Come on, let's cut this out, right?
Let's cut this out. Oh shit!
Because we do this, we play this game and we do this thing. We talk about history, but we never talk about the real history. We never talk about the real history of that we were put in, that women chose to put the black man out of the household so that they could get a consistent check. But then you sit here and you talk about and you try to and we play this game of they were taught to be, they had to learn to be strong because they had to depend on themselves. No, they didn't have to depend on themselves. They chose to depend on a consistent check over the king that God gave them. That's what they chose. And as society when society realized that they had a cheat code, which was, hey, let me just give them a check, and they said they could do this all by themselves, that men begin to see that you started seeing more men who would say, okay, I don't have to be in the household. I don't need to be there and fight you tooth and nail to be the head when I can just go off and mind my business and be somewhere happy while you say, oh, woe is me, I'm struggling. But we want to play this piece of slavery and all the rest of this stuff. But let's talk about the real. Let's talk about the real issues here. How you were chose. You chose to run your household alone. Some of us still today choose to run your household alone because you refuse to get to go get the help you need. You refuse to go get therapy. You refuse to go and change and be a different person because the person you are not presenting are not giving you the results that you want, or the results that will say a man is going to stay here forever. He don't want to be. He don't want to have to go fight you tooth and nail. He don't want to have to argue with you every night. He don't want to have to restrain himself or call his sisters to come beat you up because your mouth is reckless. But we sit here, we talk about this stuff, but we don't get into the real conversations. This is one of the real reasons why you find a lot of black men who go over to other cultures because they're not dealing with that in other cultures. It has nothing to do with anything else. It has everything else. Everything else. Men are going to other cultures because they don't have to deal with the Americanized woman who feel like breaking a man down is easier to do than changing and becoming a better person.
So everything. What? So
Can I ask you a
as
question?
I was saying,
Can I ask you a question, please? First, can I just ask you a question? Is there anything that you agree with that Derek said?
no.
I'm not saying I do. I just wanted to. I'm not saying I do or I don't. I just wanted to say.
There you go. No, I don't. And Kamisha took the words right out of my mouth. As she said, here we go again with this. Did black women make that decision alone, or did the men have a say in it? These men were forced out, or did they agree as a collective to leave to receive the assistance?
They did
What?
not. What is she talking about?
What are you talking about?
Did she actually read? Do she do any research? Does she actually read history? Men didn't have a say in that. Men were off at war when they were getting checks, and the women were told when the man returned, if he returned back to the home, those checks would stop.
Yes, the Monahan
Okay,
report.
did the man come back with a way to help support his family?
Yes, it was called the Monahan report. I sent it to you a long time ago. The Monahan report stated that when a black man came home from war, I sent it to both of you guys. This was probably a year.
Yep, sure did.
I sent y'all the Monahan report, and it stated
I
that
remember.
it stated that when the men, not just black men, when the men came home, that they saw that the white women, and it was basically on the two, because back then that's what it was. That the white women checks and everything, their social services went down, while their husbands, their employment went up when they came back. But they said that the African American man, their employment went up when it came down, but the social services stayed the same and even went up even more. And it created separation in a home. That's what the Monahan report stated.
Okay.
I sent that to you guys before.
Okay, if you say so. Run the other clip because we're running out of time.
Damn, you see how you just did me?
We out of time already. We run out of time.
Cat there, I with your stat.
It's a narrative that we hear about black men.
They don't get married.
No, they don't like who?
Oh, they don't like black
women.
Well, yeah.
The national average for black men who are married, what are they married to?
It's got to be black women.
Black women at what percentage? Over 85%. But it don't matter though, because once they make money, that's when they go get white women.
White women, yeah.
The national average for making over $200,000, black men, right? How many of those men are married to black women?
I'll give him about a cool
95%.
95. I believe it. I do believe it. And then when you hear the horror stories, we got to talk about Scottie Pippen. Girl.
Lex has a good point though, because they'll show the Scottie Pippen, right? And they'll say, look, this is how black men behave. Yeah. But that's not the fact. Destroying the black family has been on the forefront of the mind of the people who created this country. How do you destroy the black wealth in this country? Destroy the black family. Make black women think that black men don't love them. Make black men think that black women don't respect them. That's all a fallacy. It's not true. The older I get, I'm 40 years old now, the more I realize that everything I've learned from mass media has been programmed by people who have an agenda.
You want to play other video too?
Had a lot of conversations with people about.
I guess she said no.
What? No, play the last clip.
I did. It stopped.
Had a lot of conversations with people about this topic, a lot of heated debates. People want to know, can you be pro-black and date outside your race?
Marriage is a business. When you get married, you commit your mind, your body, your heart, your soul, your savings, your estate, your wealth. You commit that to that person you're married to. See, when you marry, you don't marry an individual. You marry into a race. You marry into a community. So I didn't marry a Jewish woman. I married into Jewish society. I didn't marry an Asian woman. I married into an Asian family. There's no way you can claim to love black people, especially as a black man, knowing that only 1 out of every 4 black women will get married in her lifetime. We have the lowest female marriage rate in the country, 25%. That means 75% of black women will never ever know what it feels like to be proposed to. And if you care about the black community, you got to care about saving the black family, because the family is the essential institution of a community. And the only way you can save a family is to build a family. You can only build a family with a black woman. Absolutely not. You cannot talk black and sleep white.
Just to speak on it, I have heard that, like, with the whole thing with us not liking each other, which I've always throughout those statistics of it's just like black on black crime, right? They say, oh, black on black crime, you know, blacks kill 85% of blacks, kill 85% of blacks, you know, kill blacks. Same thing as whites, same thing as Hispanics. You kill who you're amongst, right? Who you're close in, the closest proximity to. The same as marriage. You know, 90% of whites marry white. 80-something% of Hispanics marry Hispanics. 85 to 87% of blacks marry blacks. Same thing. I mean, and the higher you go, the smaller that number, you know, the higher it gets. My apologies. There's a higher percentage of African-American men, over 100,000, marry black women. There's a higher number of African-American millionaires, men, marry black women, and then billionaires even higher. So the average is the lowest, which is 85%. But the higher you go in income, the more there is of black men that marry black women. So I think us, and you know, when I came to the show, I came as a man of statistics, correct? And this is what I study. Which that's just the numbers and the facts of, you know, what's out there. You know, so when people say, oh, black men don't love black women, we're showing up in groves. Like when they said we don't love our children. If you look at the CDC right now, in the last couple of years, black men is the #1 fathers in America. I mean, if you look at finances, black men, you know, is climbing the ladder of success. There's last year, the year before, it was 2.5 million more black men in the upper class alone, not in a family, but alone as a single man. I mean, so black men are climbing, which tells that's what makes them look more attractive to other races that's now seeing them in a different light, because you always seen us, 6'6", tall, chocolate, chiseled up. You see me when I walk through, right? You see this 6'6" piece of chocolate when I come through. Now I'm making 100, 200,000. A nice house and cars and this, that. That's gonna make me even more attractive. Especially if my character and my integrity is in the right place. My moral compass is where it's supposed to be. So now that I'm being seen by more people, I'm going to be, attract more people that I wasn't accessible to in the past. And just to cap it off with the whole thing with Dr. Umar, I've met him a couple times. Me and him is cool, this, that, and the third. But I would say I don't 100% agree with what he's saying. I believe you can be for your race, but marry outside. I truly believe you can. I understand about building wealth. I understand about building building communities and all of those different things. But I don't think that you will hate your race if you marry outside of your race. I don't believe that.
I don't think you'll hate your race if you marry outside of your race, but he is correct on one thing, is when you do deal outside of a different race, it's certain things that you have to convert to from that culture if you want to marry into that race. It's not. It's like I said, it's some races that you do have to convert into certain things, especially when it comes to religion.
But what I'm saying, that's a small percentage of people. It's a small percentage of people.
But it still doesn't affect the fact of that's what you have to do. That's just like
that doesn't just prove anything. That's proving my point. That more African Americans marry black. If five people, like we're not
talking, but this is not just talking about black marrying blacks. This is people who are dating outside of their race. And when he said what he said was, if I date someone outside of my culture, if I'm dating a Jewish person, I'm also entering into their culture and into their society. And if you marry into someone's culture, that is absolutely true. Some things you do have to convert into in order to marry that person that's outside of your race.
Or they got to convert to us. Why we got to convert to them?
Because you're dealing with a different because you're dealing with a different race. You're dealing with a different race
too. So that is higher than my race.
So that is their decision. If it's a woman dating
my decision too.
A man, if it's a woman dating a man and she's respecting his culture, his race, and in order to marry this man, this is what she has to do, and that's what she chooses to do. That's
my point to you. The black women in interracial dating is the least percentage of all races.
I didn't hear the ending of what you said.
The African American woman dating interracially or marrying interracially is the least of all women. That's not the argument here. Ain't nobody worrying about that. It's like 1%.
So what are we worrying about? What are we talking about?
You brought this up, not me.
No, what I said was I'm agreeing with him on that aspect because that is true. Men don't really have to worry about that because y'all supposed to be the leaders. So we are supposed to follow you.
The only thing I've said about that is to make an argument about that. That's not the majority, which is black men is marrying black women in groves.
No, I agree. I don't think so.
It's 85%. What you talking about? 85% of black men marry black women.
Saran, if you listen, I said I agree.
Right. He wasn't disagreeing with you.
Comment if I replied to what she asked about.
My apologies if that's the case.
Calm down, mister. Calm
No,
down.
you know you can go
Calm
left.
down.
You know you can go left. You know
Calm
that. You
down.
don't. No, because you know you can go left. You gonna
Calm
go with that
down.
sisterhood.
Because
Yep.
I can't read all the comments because you know you I can't read I can't read half of the comments, so I'm answering them as I'm going through them.
Okay.
If that's okay with you. So
Don't get snooty because I can get snooty too.
I'm not getting snooty. I'm just saying you not listening to what I said because I actually said the
I didn't
person
hear
name. I
you. I
said
was
no, Ari, I
talking.
don't believe so.
Look,
Oh,
I didn't
I'm
hear you. I
sorry.
was talking.
All right, let's run through some of these comments before I get yelled at.
And you definitely gonna get yelled at.
Kamisha
Oh
says
God.
you guys run with one aspect of that report and fail to discuss the full outcome and results of the report. There were so many facets of that report. You guys only report from the part of the report that speaks to your biases against women. I remember the report. I read the report, and I went further to read reports that debunk the findings of that report. Ivy says, I'm going to start dating outside of my race. And then Kamisha says there were so many parts of that report that showed the biases and how they depicted the black family versus the white families. And
Talking about in the 60s, of course there was biases. Like,
and then Ivy had asked the question, had anyone watched Nobody Wants This? Ivy, I don't even know what that is, to be honest. I don't know if that's a movie or a show. I don't know. And Kamisha says that's because we are more loyal to black men than they are to us. And Jaya says
that is so far from the truth.
Yeah, that's not.
All right, just let me get this last comment out. And then Jaya says Umar is a single-sided small thinker. He has been conditioned to think the way he thinks, and in turn he wants to condition others to think that way. He thinks so. If we buy what he's selling, that's our prerogative. What I find fault with is the blatant disregard he has for people who do not share his view. He doesn't represent the majority.
Same as Kamisha. Kamisha the same way.
And that's it.
Kamisha the same way. Kamisha the same way.
Oh, okay. It's a series on Netflix. Maybe I'll watch it.
The blatant disregard.
The blatant disregard, I watched that. But
okay, y'all can go ahead and comment to some of the comments, and then we go into era out because we over an hour.
Right.
And Instagram done kicked us off already.
First of all, women are not more loyal to men than men are to women. That's debunked. That's been debunked. There's studies on that. Men will sacrifice happiness for their families. And women will sacrifice their families for their happiness. So you can't have loyalty when you already when there's a high number of women who will walk away from their family for their happiness. So there's no loyalty there. Where men will be unhappy and still be with his family because he's loyal to his family. He understands the family structure. That's why you find more men who speak about picking up and building a family structure in the family and rebuilding family structure for the black family to move forward. Then you find women who say it. So we got to cut this nonsense out. Let's be real. Just because you don't feel that way does not make you the multitude.
That's what Cat be doing all the time.
Like we have a whole bunch of, as I call cats, we got a whole bunch of unicorns who have a different way of thinking. So then they automatically think because I got two or three other people that are around me that think like this, that this is the majority of the people that think like this, when it's not. Today's society is not. There's more men who are trying to build rebuild the family dynamic so that the black family can move forward. And there's less women who think that way because all they care about is that they don't struggle.
Jaya asks, what are the factors that influence marriage decision? Is marriage the goal?
Kamisha, you speak from one-sided. What are you talking about? That's all you do is speak one-sided. I don't even know how the other side of your mouth get air. The nerve.
Derek, what we gonna do is be respectful.
Hold on, wait. They can shoot darts at Derek all day long, but as soon as Derek
She
shoots a
ain't
dart
shoot.
back,
She ain't shoot not one dart.
she shoot all the time.
What are you
She
talking
ain't
about?
shoot not one. She ain't shoot
That
that one dart. Be nice.
I am being nice.
Well,
That was not nice.
I don't like her. I don't like her. She know I don't like her. That's my sister. I love her.
Jaya asked a question. She said, she said, what is the goal? Is marriage the goal? And then she says there are too many alternate family structures to focus on marriage. My opinion, either you are single or you are married. To me, these are the only statuses.
I agree with her.
Right. Those are the only two statuses, single and married. It's not complicated. You single or you married.
Exactly.
I agree. That was it?
Okay. Yeah. And Kamisha told Derek, your stance doesn't make you the multitude either.
My stance, I don't have a stance. I'm speaking on facts, studies. And it's not a one-sided study. It's a study. It's studies period that showed that of all the cultures, black women will walk away from their families for their happiness of other cultures. That's not one-sided. How one-sided is that? If they went around to all the other cultures, asked the same women the same question, and they found that the largest culture that will walk away, that will abandon their family for their happiness, is the black woman. That's not one-sided. That's just what it is.
Hold up. Yo, that sisterhood is
Kamisha
song.
says.
Hold on, wait.
Kamisha,
That sisterhood song Green. Kat ain't even here to study, and she was like, "No."
Because I don't think about those statistics and stuff. I think a different way. But Kamisha said, shake my head. She was like, Kat, I'm good. I understand their inability to think outside their own experiences and interests. I know what I'm dealing with when engaging with these two.
I ain't even say nothing.
Engaging with you because you.
I'm catching strays. I'm catching strays, and I ain't even say nothing.
The problem.
And Jaya asked a very good question. She said, "What is marriage in this day and age?"
The same thing it was back
the
in the
same
day.
way it was.
Not respected.
I disagree with that. Yeah, I don't think that's true. I think it's a little different. But you know.
Same thing. The expectations of marriage is the same expectations of marriage from back in the day. It's just not shared. It's not shared and respected and reverenced like it was back in the day.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, no.
You said no?
I don't agree with that, but hey,
Derek, can you say that? Can you say that one more time, Derek? Please.
The expectation of marriage is the same as it always has been. It's just not respected or revered as like it was back then.
Okay, so what was the expectations back then? What was the expectations back then? I'm just asking a question. What was the expectations back then?
To love was unconditional. which means that the family dynamic, no matter what, the family dynamic stays stable. So, and people respected that. So not everybody, but people respected that. So there was very little things that would go against a family dynamic. Well, today's mindset is the side chick is king. The side chick is queen is king. So therefore, I can be married, but as long as I got me a side chick that keep her mouth closed, they're the one who wins. Where if you had a ring on your finger, that's when back in the day you had men who wanted to cheat back in the day would have to take their ring off their finger to cheat. Because once a woman saw the ring, she didn't want to have anything to do with it. Today, a man can literally have a ring on his finger and get more numbers with a ring on his finger than he does if he doesn't have a ring on his finger. Because women look at men who are already taken as a man who already got a lot to lose. So therefore, he's going to do what he needs to do, leave them alone, give them what they want, because he knows that they can spaz at any moment.
Okay. Jaya says agreed. So when do you know when the expectation of marriage as it was originally applied and when it is not? Point is, you don't. Ivy, you stupid.
What do you mean? Because the expectation of marriage,
it's not the same.
Because
what she asked was, is the expectations of marriage the same as it was back then? And it's not. It has changed because some people don't look. And you absolutely right.
You're making up your own thing. That's not what she just said.
No, that was the question that she had asked.
No, I'm talking about she just said agree. So when do you know when the expectation of marriage as it was originally applied and when it was not? But I can tell you, that it was applied originally in the Bible. So if you go to your word, the word gives you what the expectation of marriage was and when it was applied. So if we get back to family, that means get back to your word. Come on, somebody touch it.
Oh, your wife said go that she ready for you to get off the podcast.
You're supposed to say that in the chat. You don't say that. You don't throw them out there like that.
Well, she said it.
Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat.
She said it. She said it in the comments. So I repeated it.
You ain't got to repeat everything. You don't got to repeat everything.
If I'm reading these comments, I'm reading these comments. Thomas, go to sleep. Thomas, bye. Okay. His wife want him. His want him back, so we gonna give Derek back to his wife, and we wait over our hour.
What time it said? What time it say?
Ain't nobody got time for Thomas. Thomas needs to go sit down somewhere.
Hold up, you read all them other heathens, but you don't want to read Thomas.
You see what Thomas said? You can read it. There you go, right there. There you go. There you go, right there. There you go. You read it.
But the sanctity is no longer respected now as it was before. He's not lying.
Thank you for reading it, Derek. And I told and I'm gonna say like I just said before, Thomas, go to sleep. You're absolutely correct, Jaya. We sure have. We have. And that's everybody. That's everybody.
But
not just a certain amount of people. That's everybody. But like I said, we have gone over our hour, and I have to go because I have a man that is trying to get in contact with me. So, on that note, mind your business. There you go. They had a grown folk business. I said a man. You said a man. Yes, a man. That's all that needed to be said.
Mind your business.
All right, mind your business. We ain't getting into all of that.
See, that's the problem.
It is. You know, we all got our little secrets.
Nah, No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
No, we do
Yes,
not.
we do.
No, ain't no secrets over here.
Bye, Giant. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Kamisha, for joining the podcast. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Ivory, for joining the conversation.
Miss Carla, all you missed.
And we will see you. Hi, cousin. Dr. Tawana Rochester, how you doing? We miss you, girl.
We do miss you. We gotta get our food so we can get you up here.
So we will see y'all next week, same time, same place.
Beep, 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 beep.
Y'all got anything to say before we get up out of here? Please and thank you.
You said we out of here. Let's get back
I
to
do.
Here we is.
I do.
Come on, Sean. Say get back to family so we can get up out of here.
Hold up. I just want to say, coming up.
No, Sean, you done said enough.
Jesus Christ. Coming up for Thanksgiving, the Vera Ames Thanksgiving dinner will continue on Thanksgiving at the Integrity Lodge on Broadway in Paterson, New Jersey. So look for the flyer to be coming out. Thank you.
All right.
There is a billboard on Route 4 with an amazing man that's on it. If you want to ride by on Route 4, by the Audi dealer, by Wendy's, and you look up, man, this dude is amazing. If you look up there, they're honoring veterans. They're honoring veterans. So that's a good display. And to conclude, let's get back to family.
Hallelujah. All right, beautiful people. We will see y'all next week, same time. Stay blessed. Love, peace, and blessings.
And happy Veterans Day to my fellow veterans.